3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
You take the moon, and you take the moon, and you take the moon, and you take the moon. You take
Okay, welcome back to another Cartoon Clash. This time we are going over Chowder versus OK K.O. Both, well, one is like newer than the other, but I consider them like both newer Cartoon Network shows. Chowder has a very interesting concept where it's like everything's food. And for OK K.O, it's another interesting concept where everybody's a hero. So they both have like really interesting worlds. I think.
These are we're talking before we started about how like I feel that these two are the most equal in competition with.
Yeah, it really seems like it.
Because like, okay, both shows are silly. Both shows star, the main character is a young like,
apprentice.
Apprentice.
Yeah,
a wide-eyed apprentice who's optimistic as hell.
Man, this randomizer like really like did it well.
And also like Chowder and OK K.O both have very like intriguing and also particular art styles that both sort of don't really care about being on model and all that. Like Chowder has different segments where it's either 3D animated CG or puppets, as with Courage and Gumball 2. And OK K.O really has designs being all across the board. And
they're both very cartoony.
Yeah. I because Chowder was around that era where I stopped watching Cartoon Network. I caught up with it on Netflix. I'm sorry, on Hulu. And for the show's credit, like I think it's fantastic. I love the humor. I love the characters. I love the designs, the name of the characters, crack me up. It's like, wow, this is different. Chowder himself, very charismatic. I like that he's actually a child voice actor. There's even an episode where they ran out of money for animation.
Yeah, they were doing the meta thing before Gumball.
That moment was fantastic. That's usually the ones people like to bring up when they talk about Chowder for being like the most self-aware show of the time.
Yeah. It was definitely there. What I appreciate about OK K.O is that it's cartoony. Cosmo, you mentioned that it has a lot of fun with, like, there really isn't anything that's on model. It's like, there are times where it can look small and squished and big and goofy, and that's fine. But I feel that the folks who make this show, Ian and his team, they love Cartoon Network. Like, you can see a lot of inspiration and like, I mean, and there was that Nexus recently, and that was a lot of fun with all the different cartoons.
Yeah, they even referenced the Moxie show of all things.
Yeah, like the show itself is very much a crossover and like a tribute to all things the creators of the show enjoy.
Yes.
So for OK K.O, like I really like the show, but sometimes I do feel like this is references the show because they reference like a lot of things.
Well, the thing is, like, so was Billy and Mandy, but you just got to ask if like the references hold up on their own. Could you enjoy it without knowing the reference?
Yeah, because one recent one they did was with Dexter's Lab. They did a reference to Dexter's Lab where it was like almost like shot for shot animation. But with OK K.O, I think it's a hilarious show. But with Chowder, I think I like laughed out loud a lot more at some of the jokes. Some of the jokes in Chowder are like really funny. There's this one that I always go back to where like Chowder's like riding on this like little like quarter horsey thing, and then he's like, oh no, the sun is rising, and like the sun's like rising out of this like trench in
with,
the
like,
earth.
The knights fighting.
That was funny.
Yeah. It's so funny because like I appreciate OK K.O. I appreciate what it's doing for Cartoon Network right now and how it's kind of carrying the torch. I imagine Cartoon Network's like, hey, this show's got that superhero thing going on, and there's a superhero trend. It's really big, so let's bring it into the network. It works. I like the characters. I like that they got Jim Cummings to voice the, villain.
Yeah, Boxman.
Ultimately, I mean, I guess this isn't voting time yet, but like, I don't know. I feel like Chowder had a lot more going for it in its like uniqueness and its writing and characters because it's like this. Yeah,
it's definitely a lot more unique than OK K.O.
Well, original in the sense of with its stories, and I. Oh God, what's her name again? Panini? Is it the girl who had a crush?
Panini.
Yeah. I'm not your boyfriend!
That cracks me up.
Yeah, that show was one joke I really do love from Chowder was a whole thing where like he's trying to go cleaning and then he's like wiping around and then he goes like, what's this one mark over here? And he's like, don't you can't clean that off. Trust me, it don't go anywhere. And it was like the Cartoon Network logo, the old Cartoon Network logo. And it was just like, it's one of those things, like, if you watch it today, the logo has changed from how it used to look.
Yeah,
so
but they still keep it on there for the...
Yeah, and they still keep it on there. Chowder was just one of those shows. I've never seen Chowder all the way through. I watched it, like, occasionally, and it did always make me laugh with the jokes and stuff like that, with his very meta humor. And like Paleo said, the sun rising, that cracked me up. I would give my slight edge to just Chowder, to be honest, because I haven't seen much of OK K.O. to make a proper thing. I'm sure it's a great show, but I'm going with Chowder right now for that.
We're not quite voting quite yet, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
my bad.
The thing with Chowder is also that when they break the fourth wall, it's usually sprinkled in there. Like when they have to clean up the room and like use the backdrop and flip that around, and suddenly the room is cleaned.
Yeah, it's great.
It's always hilarious.
I forget the guy's voice, the voice actor, but like the guy who's the voice of Master Shakes in the show.
Dana Schneider. Yeah.
Listen,
Schneider.
Chowder. Guys, those two words get me seeing Chowder and Schnitzel. Not Schnitzel. What's the name of the character?
Like Gazpacho.
Yeah, that's it. Man, that's close, man. I always say like Gestapo, and it's like, no, that's not it. That's not it.
That's not a food.
Yeah, because both OKKO and Chowder are both shows that just like don't care. It's just comedy and just fourth wall breaking. It's absurd. But like, I feel Chowder is the better looking show, and OKKO has more thought put into like the world building, I guess.
That's fair.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the art style for OKKO? Because I can admire the doodling nature of it. It's kind of like the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, see, okay.
I love about OK K.O. is its lighting, like its use of the sun and how the characters are bright
You
and
use the moon
sort
and
of
you use the
orangey.
sun? Or you take the moon and you take the sun?
No, but like everything is bright, and whenever they go like underground, it's even more noticeable. That's like the reason for why the contrast between TKO and KO is so drastic, because I don't know what it is about the show, but like how the outlines are sort of charcoaly looking, and then with the lightning backdrop and all that.
Yeah, I
do like the art
that.
style. I do like the art style. I don't know what particularly I like about it, but it looks appealing to me at least.
Okay, see, I'm on the one fence about that, because like that's what actually held me off from watching it. Was just like, I don't know, just aesthetically, it just didn't appeal to me in that regard. Like, I show, like, from episodes I've seen, they made me laugh. But like aesthetically, it's just not my personal aesthetic of like, oh, I like that kind of animation and style and character design. So like that's what kept me from watching it originally. But I've seen the episodes and I do like the characters from what I've seen, and I do like the comedy. So that's what I can say about that. But yeah, for me, the art style was just like sort of like it's just not for me when I first saw it.
This is a close one.
Yeah, very close.
But I feel Chowder is one of the best looking Cartoon Network shows.
Yeah, it's very distinct.
It looks really good.
Also for Chowder, as far as like breaking the fourth wall, who said that it was like kind of like sprinkled in there? I keep like recalling different moments where that happened, where like Mungdal like is like scolding Chowder for like, Chowder, now look what you've done. Now the animators are going to have to draw all this fire. As far as like characters and stuff goes, there is an antagonist in Chowder with Miss Endive, who like
I love her because she wants to Mungdal so badly. She does. She really does. You can't even tell me she doesn't. She's tsundere.
Mungdal's married to Truffles.
Can I just say I don't like truffles?
Yeah, she does have a. I mean, like
Tara Strong's gonna come for you.
in general, like I think I think the characters in the show don't like her.
I don't know who said that. It might have been Greenblatt himself, but someone said that you can only take so much truffles at a time. Like you have to sprinkle her into the show as well. That's why there isn't that much of her in each episode. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about her too. Mang and Chowder's chemistry is just great in general. Like when you compare that to KO and Mr. Gar, the chemistry between Chowder and Mang is
much better.
It feels much more like Apprentice.
Speaking of like,
he's always rolling his eyes, and also like I love that they have a kid voice actor. That seals the deal.
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah, that's what made Avatar extra better when the Aang was actually voiced by the show. It adds to like the organic feel that you actually have like a child voice in it rather than like, a grown adult woman doing the voice. And it's just like, oh, I know who that voice actress is. I recognize her on the dot. When it feels like, it's a voice actor. Who is this kid? Oh, it's actually a kid. And just, one of those things you hear and it's just like, oh, that's actually a nice change. Like, do you know if Panini was a kid as well?
Yeah, she was 13, 14 at the time. What's interesting is she voiced Myrtle in Lilo and Stitch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, I mentioned that they're both apprentice. They're both overwhelmingly optimistic. They are, God, like almost kind of dumb in a way. Like not like dumb as in like stupid, but just kind of like oblivious to a degree. I think Chowder more so than KO.
Adorably naive.
That works. That works. I mean, personally, like I find Chowder to be more tolerable. Like I prefer Chowder. I think he's more believable. He's more this goofy kid just trying to live his day.
Goofy fat kid.
Goofy fat kid. Yeah.
I can relate more to Chowder when I was his age.
So-
I'm leaning towards Chowder.
Chowder.
Okay.
I officially vote for Chowder.
I vote for Chowder as well. I mean, I think it's more
It's
hilarious.
close.
Yeah, it's
close,
very
though.
close, but I've laughed out loud a lot more at Chowder.
For the record, I really appreciate what Ian and his team are doing for Cartoon Network right now with OKKO. It's fantastic. Just that I think I personally prefer Chowder.
I don't know, I'm kind of in the middle where it's like I don't like them too much from each other, but I kind of admire OKKO for the cartoon references of it. It still stands on its own mostly. I mean, there's some episodes that are too esoteric, but I guess OKKO.
I will say I like OKKO more as a legacy cartoon, like a conglomerate of different shows into one. I feel like it's the coolest, one of the coolest shows Cartoon Network has had, and one of the best they have right now. But like compared to each other, Chowder is the better one.
And Jax, you said you were gonna vote Chowder.
Yeah, Chowder
Yeah.
for me. I like OKKO from what I've seen. Like the crossover episodes they did were phenomenal, but I haven't watched enough of it. And Chowder, like everyone said so far, has just made me laugh. Comedy and aesthetically, I do like it's designed better.
Yeah. So Chowder moves on to the next round. So
Yeah. Good on you,
good,
Chowder.
Good for
Sorry.
Chowder. He wins.
Looks like KO got knocked out.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Boy.